In this lesson, I will show you how to create different teal and orange look variations. And first, why teal and orange look is so widely used? The answer is very simple. Let's have a look at this color wheel where we have highlighted teal and orange. And from the position of these colors on the color wheel, we can tell that these are the complementary colors, which means that they are opposite, and when combined together, they create a nice cinematic contrast that draws attention. We can create multiple teal and orange look variations. The amount of teal and orange we can introduce to the clip depends on the footage we are working on, and to demonstrate it, I will use these 3 clips. The first one is a red clip that was converted to H.264. Then we have a B-roll clip, and at the end we have a Canon Look 2 clip. And these are my color management settings. And as I have mixed clips on my timeline, I'm working in DaVinci Wide Gamut. And now let's double check if my clips have been converted correctly. So the last one is Canon Look 2. Then the second one is B-roll, so it was recognized automatically. And my first clip should be marked as Red Wide Gamut Log 3G10. Okay, so let's start from the first clip. And here, creating a teal and orange look will be quite easy. We can push it quite a lot, as we have a lot of green in the shot and a lot of exposed skin, so we are able to push it towards teal and orange quite a lot. So let's start from the primaries. I will label my first node as primaries, and then I will move to my favorite primary wheels over here. And looking at my waveform, I can see that my shadows are pushed down enough, but I can still raise my highlights a bit. So first I will push my gain up, and then to add a bit of contrast, I will push my gamma down. And then I will also play a bit with the contrast and the pivot controls. And this is before and after. Looks nice. Now let's start introducing some warmth to the clip. So I will create a new node and I will label it as look/saturation. And here I will start focusing on my skin tones. I will start bringing them closer to that teal and orange world. So I will use my gamma wheel, as midtones are responsible for the skin tones, and I will push it towards orange. And then I will push my lift towards teal just a touch to balance it a bit. And this is before and after. I just wanted to add a bit more saturation to the skin here. Now let's create a parallel node, and here we will isolate the skin. So let's label it as skin. And we could have used layer nodes here to do it, but there's a reason why I am using the parallel node. You'll find it out in a second. So let's grab a qualifier and let's select the skin. And now I will turn my highlight mode on. Now let's improve the selection. So I will start from my hue slider and then the luminance. And this clip is a bit compressed, but it's not an issue, we'll make it work. So let's also move the saturation slider, and now I'll also denoise my selection. And I will clean black to get rid of the trees from my selection, as much as possible. Now let's turn the highlight mode off, and what I will do is that I will create a serial node after my parallel nodes. And this is where I'll be creating my teal look. And now I will go to my primaries again and I will push my lift, gamma and gain towards teal to shift the color of the whole greenery in this shot and to move it towards teal. Like this. And this is before and after. But now we have also affected our skin tones. So what we can do here, we can do a little trick. So I will connect the alpha output from my skin node with the look node, like this. And now, when I have my look node selected, I will go to my key over here, and I will reverse it. And look what we've got. This is before and after. And now we can always go back to our skin node and we can tweak it. So I will just use my gamma wheel and I will take out a little bit of that orange to make it look more natural. Okay, and now we can also tweak our look. So let's go back to the look node, and here I will introduce quite a lot of teal. Let's just push it if we can. So I will move around my gain, gamma and lift wheels. I will take my time with it. And this is how my clip looks. And now we can adjust it a little bit more. I wasn't aiming for the natural look here, but we can make it look a little bit more natural. So I'll create a new serial node at the end and I will call it look adjustments. And here I will go to my Luma versus saturation. And first I will take a bit of the saturation from the shadows by pushing this point down. And then I will create a new point in the midtones and I will push it up a little bit to add the saturation in the midtones again. And this is before and after. And you feel free to play around with it as much as you want to, but I will move to the second clip. And here I will start from the primaries again. So let's maybe go to the curves this time, and I will push my curve up a bit in the highlights and then down in the shadows. And then I will also go to the primaries and I will adjust the contrast and the pivot. And this is before and after. And here I will use my layer nodes this time. So let's hit Option S first and then Option L to create a layer mixer. And let's label our nodes. So my node above will be my look and my node below will be the sky, as here I will be isolating the sky. So let's start from isolating the sky. I will grab my qualifier and I will select all of the blue color over here. And let's refine the selection using sliders. So I just want to get rid of the reds here. And now let's clean white and black here. Now let's blur and denoise the selection. Like this. And let's see. This will work. We can always refine this selection later. And now let's select look node. And here, using my gamma, I will shift my red hue towards orange. Like this. And this time I can't really push too much. And this is before and after. And now let's go to the sky node. And here again, using my gamma wheel, I will push the blue towards teal. And maybe my gain a bit as well. And this is before and after. So this time we're able to create a teal and orange look very quickly. Now we can move to our last Canon clip. And here I will start from my primaries. So let's label the first node. And looking at my scopes, I will push my gain up, then my gamma down, and then I will tweak the contrast and the pivot. And this is before and after. And here, let's again create two layer nodes, and the top one will be my look, and the bottom one will be my skin tones. And here again, I will isolate my skin tones using the qualifier. So let's select the skin tones and let's turn the highlight mode on. And now let's refine the selection with the sliders. This time there's a lot of red hue in the clip, so it's quite difficult to select only the skin tones. But we can also include more of it this time. It will also benefit from it. You'll see. Then I will denoise my selection a bit and I will play with my sliders a bit more. And let's also blur it. And let's clean black to remove black from the selection. And then let's clean white to remove white from the selection. Okay, we can turn the highlight mode off. And now let's go to the primaries and let's move the skin tones and the rest of the selected hue towards orange. Okay, and I will zoom in so I can see my skin tones properly. I want to make sure that I'm adding the orange hue, but on the same time, I want to make sure that my skin tones still look natural. Okay, this is before and after. And now let's move to the look node. And here I will take the advantage of the color warper. So I will select the dark blue on the clip and I will shift it towards teal gradually, like this. And look at the difference before and after. So here we have created more muted teal and orange look, as this is what this clip is allowing us to do. Now let's add a few more adjustments. So after my layer nodes, I will create a new serial node and I will call it vignette. And here I will go to my power windows. I will grab the round power window and I will place it over the protagonists and I will also soften it. And then let's reverse it and let's go to the curves and let's push the white curve down to darken the shot around the actors, like this. And this is before and after. And this way we basically brought more attention to them. And now we need to go to the tracker and let's track the shot. Okay, and this is our full look before and after. In this lesson, you will learn how to create a bleach bypass look. And bleach bypass is a cinematic color grading technique that was initially developed for film processing. It involves partially or completely skipping the bleaching step during film development, which results in a unique and distinctive look characterized by increased contrast, the saturated colors, and a gritty or high contrast appearance. This technique was popularized by films like Saving Private Ryan and Minority Report. So we'll be working on this Sony S-Log free clip that we have balanced before. And I have also added a bit of sharpening at the end. This is before and after. So let's go ahead and let's create a new node. And this will be my black and white look, as bleach and bypass look is basically a combination of color and a black and white image. And you will see how it works in a second. So now let's go to the RGB mixer over here and let's turn on the monochrome. And now let's hit Option L to create a layer node. And now we can right click on the layer mixer node over here. Then we can go to the composite mode. And the best modes in DaVinci Resolve to create a bleach bypass look are overlay, and it looks like this. You can see already how much we have increased the contrast and how much we have lowered the saturation. And alternatively, we can use a mode called soft light that gives a more subtle look that I personally prefer. And now we'll be adjusting our clip. So let's create another serial node and let's call it look adjustments. But before we move on to it, let's also go back to our black and white node and let's make some adjustment with the RGB mixer, as we did with our black and white look in the previous lesson. So here I will play around with my green, blue and red outputs. You feel free to adjust them to your liking, as there's no right or wrong here. It all depends on what kind of result you want to get. I don't want you to exactly copy me. I want to give you a lot of flexibility here. And now let's move to the look adjustment node. And here I will go to my primaries first. And when we look at the waveform, we can tell that the clip is a bit too dark. So let's push the shadows up first by increasing the lift. And as my clip is in general on the dark side, I will also increase the gamma, and then I will decrease my gain. And now I will also increase the contrast a bit to keep my look well defined. And this is before and after. And let's play it. Okay, and another thing we could do here would be to use our HSL curves to manipulate the saturation. So let's go to Luma versus saturation. And here we can saturate or desaturate the clip depending on its luminance. So I will create a point in the middle of the curve, and when we go here to the point on the left, we'll be affecting the saturation in the shadows. So when I push this point down to the maximum, it will desaturate the clip completely in the shadows. And when I push the point on the very right to the max, it will desaturate my clip completely in the highlights. And when I push my middle point down, I will get a black and white image. But let's push it up again, as I want some color in the midtones. And then I will also increase the saturation in the shadows. And this is the final result. Have fun with it.